You know, I mean, she used to be on
Was
Deal or
he
No
infiltrated?
Deal. Look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time? There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s. Wow.
It was suggested that the then Meghan Markle likely spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before she even met Prince Harry.
Nasty, and says he feels sorry for Prince Harry because his wife is a lot to deal with.
Oh, folks, did you hear? Colin Jost, the man, the myth, the monarch mangler, just dropped another bombshell. And this one landed like a fully loaded yacht-sized cannonball right into Meghan Markle's carefully curated pond. We're talking about private yacht photos surfacing faster than you can say royal exit strategy. Now, before you clutch your pearls and gasp, not again, let me just say, if you thought her last Instagram deletion was dramatic, honey, you haven't seen anything yet. Because this time, it wasn't just a digital vanishing act. It was a full-blown public, where's my wine glass meltdown. And trust me, the internet is having an absolute field day, which begs the question, how many more perfectly manicured secrets are floating around out there just waiting for a high tide reveal?
It is interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
And then the wife convinces you to leave the royal family. Like, I'm out. I don't need you guys. Which is crazy, because don't you just get free money?
And speaking of high tides, the timing of this, my friends, was a comedic masterpiece in itself. While Colin was busy delivering punchlines on national television, hitting Meghan with a zinger about sending her back to the UK, but only if she deletes her Instagram again, the digital oceans were already churning. This wasn't some quiet ripple, it was a tsunami of fresh yacht girl photos. And these weren't grainy whispers from Reddit forums anymore. Oh no, these were actual honest-to-goodness images. Grainy enough to maintain that vintage scandal aesthetic, but clear enough to ignite a full-blown digital inferno.
Of Meghan Markle's alleged, rumoured yacht.
We again highlight the mucky murkiness and mendacious manner of this alleged yacht girl. According to her,
we're talking about a woman who bears an uncanny resemblance to our pre-royal Duchess, lounging on a sun-drenched deck, champagne flutes shimmering, surrounded by men who clearly smelled of quiet money and offshore accounts. The kind of money that whispers, I could buy this yacht, and the one next to it, and still have enough left over for a small island. Even the damn bracelets matched. The lighting, chef's kiss. It was like an internet sleuth convention where everyone brought their A-game. It makes you wonder, if you're building a brand on authenticity, how many doppelgangers do you need to look out for? Because this resemblance was hitting a little too close to home.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her, she's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
But here's the kicker, folks, and this is where it gets juicy. The story isn't just about the photos. Not entirely. It's about what those images represent. Because our girl Meghan has spent years, and I mean years, rebranding herself. She pulled a full Beyoncé, from television actress to duchess, from hustling for auditions to giving speeches on mental health and women's empowerment. She built a brand that screamed authenticity, resilience, and struggle. You know, the kind of struggle that involves private jets and bespoke couture. But here's the cold, hard truth. Brands like that, they're fragile. They're built on carefully curated narratives, polished to a mirror sheen, absolutely drama-free. And the moment something messy slips through, something that hints at a different path, a less stumble into royalty kind of path, it threatens to collapse the entire beautifully constructed Jenga tower. It's like trying to pass off a store-bought cake as homemade after someone finds the bakery receipt in your trash. You can try, but the evidence is out there, folks.
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
And trust me when I say, this isn't the first time these yacht rumors have surfaced. Oh no. They've been quietly circulating for years, lingering in the shadowy corners of gossip blogs and Reddit threads, like a persistent bad smell you just can't quite get rid of. But they never truly caught fire. Why? Because back then, the world was too caught up in the Meghan versus Palace drama to care. Every critique, every whisper was instantly brushed off as racism or jealousy. The fairy tale was simply too shiny, too enchanting to be questioned. It was like trying to tell a room full of toddlers that Santa Claus isn't real. They just weren't having it. But now, my friends, the honeymoon is officially over. The Spotify deal, dead. The Netflix buzz, cooled faster than a lukewarm cup of tea. And Meghan's team? They can't stop every single clip, every meme, every TikTok stitch that brings those old photos roaring back to life. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. The sheer volume of content is overwhelming, making you wonder if the palace drama was just a convenient smokescreen all along.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
Reminder, Prince Harry married a talentless Soho house, alleged, named Meghan Markle. And I've seen this before, but I have to admit.
And here's the truly wild part, the part that makes you just shake your head and laugh. Colin Jost didn't even mention the yacht stuff. He didn't need to. His joke, that little innocent jab, it just cracked the door open. And the internet, bless its ruthless, unforgiving heart, kicked it wide open. Because once someone like Colin, a mainstream comedian, pokes fun at Meghan, it's not just a jab, it's permission. Permission for the public to start laughing. Permission for the narrative to shift. And when the public laughs, folks, sympathy fades faster than a tan line in winter. Curiosity kicks in, and people start digging. And the internet, well, it never forgets. It's like an elephant with a photographic memory and a direct line to every embarrassing photo from your past. You think you've buried it deep? Think again. The public, now emboldened, is asking questions that make you wonder what other skeletons are lurking in the royal closet. So, what did Meghan's team do amidst this digital storm? They stayed quiet, radio silence, no denials, no legal threats, no slick PR spin, just crickets. And let's be honest, folks, in today's hyper-connected world, silence isn't neutral, it's suspicious. If it wasn't her in those photos, why not just say so? Why not threaten to sue every single platform that dared to post them? Why not shut it down fast and hard? The absence of any pushback, the utter lack of a forceful rebuttal, turned curiosity into conviction. Even her most loyal defenders, the ones who usually leap to her defense faster than a paparazzi to a celebrity, suddenly had no script. They were left stammering, looking like deer in headlights. And Harry, bless his cotton socks, watching his wife's past unravel in real time, plastered across social media feeds and comedy skits. The man who famously hated the press is now trapped in the very circus he swore to escape. It makes you wonder, if he's so against the press, why is he now starring in a reality show of his own making? And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is that this time, it's not the palace attacking them, it's culture itself. It's a meme storm, a satire avalanche. And when comedy turns on you folks, it's game over. You can fight the tabloids, you can try to control the narrative with carefully placed interviews, but you can't fight the collective snark of the internet. Because executives in Hollywood, the ones who hold the purse strings, they don't like unpredictability. They like buzz, sure, drama even, if it drives attention, but only the kind they can control. And Meghan, bless her heart, she stopped being controllable a long time ago. Whispers started floating through the industry like smoke in a studio lot. She's a liability now. Not because of anything confirmed, not because of some single damning piece of evidence, but because of a vibe, a feeling that whatever came next could blow up without warning. Her name started slipping off invite lists faster than a politician's popularity. Quiet removals from panel discussions, brand pitches going cold, documentaries left in limbo. You won't see that on the headlines, but insiders feel it. The shift. And it makes you think, if Hollywood is backing away, how much longer can the royal family pretend everything is fine? Because the problem isn't just the rumors, it's how desperately her team tries to erase them. Calls to journalists, desperate messages to editors, frantic requests to take down 10-year-old lifestyle coverage. It doesn't feel like privacy, folks. It feels like hiding. It feels like someone is trying to airbrush their past like it's a bad vacation photo. And that yacht narrative, that particular story, it hit deeper than people expected. Not because a woman can't live her life before marriage, of course she can, but because the entire appeal of Meghan's brand was built on a certain kind of image, empowered, grounded, above it all. But when those photos hit timelines, Whether real, fake, or heavily debated, they told a different story. They hinted at calculated moves, power connections, and strategic appearances. A version of Meghan that didn't stumble into royalty, but climbed there, eyes wide open. It's like finding out your favorite underdog story actually had a team of professional ghostwriters and a publicist pulling all the strings. Online, folks, people aren't holding back. Twitter threads are dissecting everything from her early interviews to her mysteriously vanished friends list. TikTok creators are mapping out timelines, pointing out the weird gaps, the sudden disappearances, the people who once knew her but now wouldn't speak if their lives depended on it. And Instagram Reels are pulling footage from old red carpet events, zooming in on every smile, every glance, with captions like, "Was it all a plan?" It's not even hate, it's fascination. Like a live reality show unfolding in real time. The term inauthentic started sticking not just from tabloids or royal watchers, but from influencers, podcasters, even casual fans who once rooted for her. They weren't calling her evil, they were calling her fake. And in today's culture, that's almost worse. You can bounce back from controversy, even scandal. But being seen as a fraud? That's the kiss of death for anyone building a brand around vulnerability and truth. Because once the audience smells a rat, they start looking for the whole infestation. But what really hit hard, the real gut punch, was the absence of her usual defenders. The journalists who once wrote think pieces about her bravery? Quiet. The influencers who quoted her interviews like scripture? Radio silence? Even her inner circle seemed to go dim. One source said her PR team had a list of key media contacts they leaned on during crisis moments, but this time, most of them didn't bite. Because no one wants to go down defending something they can't explain, especially when the evidence is staring them in the face. Meanwhile, Harry was becoming collateral damage. Clips of him defending Meghan from the British press were now being stitched next to the yacht photos with mocking captions. People weren't just questioning Meghan anymore. They were wondering how much Harry knew, how much he ignored, and whether the fairy tale romance was built on something shakier than anyone thought. The guy gave up a crown, one tweet read, for someone who may have just played him like a Netflix role. The internet, folks, is ruthless like that. It doesn't need proof, it just needs a pattern. And once the narrative forms, it moves fast. Faster than statements, faster than lawyers, faster than control. Meghan's polished exterior wasn't just cracking. It was being memed into irrelevance. Not by palaces or press barons, but by content creators with ring lights and opinions. And nothing scares a media-trained personality more than a camera they can't spin. The real damage wasn't in the photos or the punchlines, it was in what they represented. A woman who had spent years crafting a story so airtight it could hold up under the weight of royal scrutiny was now facing a storm she couldn't outmaneuver. The narrative she controlled so tightly had slipped from her hands. It wasn't just unraveling, it was being rewritten by strangers in real time, and it wasn't just fans or haters doing the rewriting. Journalists who once took Meghan's side were now revisiting their own articles, adding cautious disclaimers, rewording once glowing headlines. Even publications that prided themselves on supporting modern royalty had started dialing back their tone. One major media outlet quietly updated their archive, removing flattering photo spreads of her early career. Not because they knew something for sure, but because something didn't feel right anymore. It's like finding a mysterious asterisk next to a seemingly perfect resume. It just makes you wonder what else is there. Back in Montecito, insiders claimed Meghan's team was working overtime, cycling through strategy after strategy. Leak a new philanthropy project, tease an exclusive sit-down interview, drop vague wellness content about staying grounded through adversity, but none of it landed. Nothing stuck because the audience had shifted. They weren't waiting for the next chapter in her story, they were rereading the first few and realizing things didn't add up. There were whispers about a new documentary coming soon, one that could dive deeper into the yacht allegations, her past connections, maybe even testimony from former acquaintances who had been silent until now. And while Meghan's legal team was reportedly on high alert, preparing for every possible scenario, the public was more focused on the irony. The woman who sued newspapers for violating her privacy might soon be the subject of the most public character dissection of the decade. It's a poetic justice that makes you just have to tune in, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Harry had grown noticeably absent. Paparazzi who used to snap the couple out on casual strolls or at charity events now reported fewer sightings. Some claimed he'd returned to the UK for a private visit. Others speculated he was spending more time apart from Meghan, even within their own home. One photographer noted how Harry always looked exhausted lately, head down, shoulders tense, like a man carrying more than just regret. It didn't take long for tabloids to start floating rumors of a rift. And while those headlines are often exaggerated, the silence from both camps spoke volumes. For a couple that once curated every public move with surgical precision, their current absence was deafening. No family photos, no slick promotional videos, no inspirational couple content, just nothing. It makes you wonder what's really going on behind those closed doors, doesn't it?